just pictured you like cartoonish feet running to your Bible app versus where quickness wins. Where does quickness win?
Be fast. Where's it at?
Welcome to the Far More Podcast. Hey, Liz.
Hey, Jason.
Here we are, part 2 of Dangerous Prayers.
That's right. And you know what that means, y'all. I've said it before. If there's a part 2, it means there's a part 1. So hit the pause button, go back, listen to part 1, and then come back here because we're just going to, what do you think?
We're going to jump right in.
We're just going to jump right in. So here you go.
Let's go.
When thinking about my life and big, bold prayers, I am having trouble thinking of one, but there is one that does stand out. And it was praying for a spouse who, oh, I'm not done.
I'm not sure how this played out for you. It's to be determined.
TBD, girl, TBD. Who was going to help me to become the version of me that God wants me to be and has called me to be.
Oh, girl.
Yeah. I mean, that was a bold prayer. I didn't just pray, because I did, for those who don't know us, I did get married a little bit later in life compared to my friends around me. Like all of my friends around me had been married for a good 5, 6, 7, 10 years. They were on kid number 2, and I'm walking down the aisle, and so grateful for that, by the way. But I didn't pray, Lord, just send me somebody who's going to treat me like a princess and rub my belly and feed me tacos. Like you've seen those t-shirts.
It's full of words of affirmation.
Full of my love language. But I did. And looking on it now, I think that is a big, bold prayer. Lord, bring me a spouse who is going to help me to become who you have called me to be. For me, personally, I think that's big and bold. Because,
of course it is.
Now, to be clear, I still had a cute little checklist.
A cute little checklist?
I had to get... Every girl has a checklist.
Oh, okay.
They do.
All right. What was on your checklist? Yeah. Are you going to admit what's on your checklist?
It's so superficial.
Okay.
Some of them are so superficial. I'll give you 2.
Okay. Give me 2.
No, I really don't want to because I don't want our listeners to be like, she is so dumb.
Oh, you're in now. Come on.
I'll give you the most ridiculous one. Okay. So y'all can laugh at me and judge me all you want. I can't even believe I'm about to admit this. He has to look cute with his cap on backwards.
With a hat on backwards.
Baseball cap on backwards.
I wear a hat backwards a lot.
And you're cute.
Oh,
you're cute
winning.
in it. Winning.
I'm glad that's the bar I met.
You did. High five. You did it, girl. You did it.
You were like, listen, I'm late in the game here. Can he just wear a hat and maybe have it backwards? Like, that's where you were? Well, that's a bold prayer, girl.
We're praying big. Praying big over here. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Here's the second one that didn't get checked.
Oh, okay. What did I not?
I want him to be a really good singer.
Oh no, girl. Sorry. Not even close.
But the list was.
So I made 50% of your list. Is that what you're saying?
No, girl. I think that was. Let me be honest.
Come on.
Let me give you some affirmation. I know y'all are going to see him squirm because he hates it. Mm-mm. You checked off everything else. The only thing that, you were a good singer when you're not trying.
Maybe my voice today. A little bass. Maybe I can get some bass today. What do you think?
All about that bass.
That's right.
But yeah, so that, circling back, getting us back on track, that was a big, bold prayer because in order to make me become and help me become the woman that God has called me to be, it has required of you hard conversations, bringing up things about me and my life that maybe are blind spots. It's, iron sharpens iron. That's not an easy process. It's not a soft process. It's hard. And I'll reference like the refiner's fire as well, bringing up all the impurities. How do they bring up all those impurities? With a lot of heat. Mm-hmm. It doesn't come from just leaving things alone. And that was big and bold. And here we are.
I think part of, maybe in your mind, bold is too strong of a word, right? We said dangerous prayers. Boldness is like one element, mm-hmm. right? You do a lot of Lord, speak to me prayers. You do a lot of Lord, reveal to me prayers.
Yeah.
You do a lot of Lord, help me use this moment, whether this podcast or group you have with your ladies. Like, there's a lot of those that for many people will be like, those are big, bold prayers. You're stepping out doing things in faith.
I guess I just don't view them as being bold because most of them are me working out of my giftedness, not me working out of a weakness. Does that make sense?
I mean, I yes, but I think even to do some of these things, you had to learn a lot of new stuff.
Well, yes.
Right? Which isn't necessarily part of your giftedness. Even to...
You are not wrong.
I'm not wrong on that.
You are not wrong.
Or even as we do the hard work in our own life, in our own marriage, like digging deep and say, okay, Lord, reveal this part of me that I'm just struggling with, or I've used to just medicate, or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. Those are bold prayers as well. I think, we talked early in this podcast about most Christians or / church people pray big prayers, but they pray it for other people. I think there's something interesting on that conversation. I think being able to just flip it instead of just I'm praying this over someone else's life, someone else's brokenness, and just being able to flip that to pray it over your own life, that unto itself is a dangerous prayer, just to make it more. I've sat in a lot of small groups or a lot of Sunday school classes or a lot of insert church circles here, and every time it's prayer request time. Mm-hmm. Without a doubt.
Dear Aunt Sally, she's struggling.
90% of the prayer requests are not for that person. They're all external. Mm-hmm. They're big prayers or something about somebody else. Mm-hmm. I think the big call to action here for Christians is making those big, bold prayers about ourselves. What are we really struggling with? Or what do we need the Lord to really show us that we're struggling with? Because we're really good at saying, oh, because I don't understand your sin, like I get actually more angry about your sin than I do my sin.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we see that a lot, and we get actually more fired up about, oh, your brokenness. Here's the thing that you do wrong. Here's what you're not doing right.
Or somebody else, but not ourselves.
But not ourselves.
Yeah.
If we somehow were just as broken and furious about
our own
sin as much as we are other people's sin that we don't have the same struggle or understand, that I think would change churches today.
Well, that, and, not only reveal to us our sin, but also we want to pray boldness for other people. Like, Lord, there's this thing they could step out in faith in. Please help them.
That's right.
But we
you're clearly,
are like, don't pray that over me.
That's right. You're clearly called to lead this thing.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
You're clearly called to go on this mission trip. Mm-hmm. You're clearly called to give this amount of money to this thing. Uh-huh. Right?
Yeah.
We're really good at that.
Well, yeah, because it's safe. And actually, you know what? Not only is it safe, it's exciting too. Like, you're wanting to pray because maybe deep down, we really do. We want to serve God in a big way, or we think we want to serve God in a big way, but the way we want to do it.
Well, yeah, we love seeing God move in other people's life. We don't want to necessarily go through the pain of what it takes for God to move in our own life. Right? When you see God like heal a marriage, right? The brokenness and pain that it takes to actually heal a marriage and bring,
because most just end in divorce because that's easier,
is really hard.
Yeah.
But yet we're not willing to have conversations that are deep and hard with our own spouse. Right? So I think it's like we love and we get excited when we see God moving in other people's lives but we're not necessarily willing to make those bold prayers in our own life because we understand the work or the circumstance or the something that will
take place. If we had seen the lead up to that, what all it took, we probably would never speak out. We would just keep our little mouth shut and be good little people, leave them alone, mind our own business.
Yeah.
But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
That's right. And I think that's why God only shows us certain steps. Because if we actually saw all the steps it was going to take to get to the outcome that would ultimately be for his glory, right, we'd be like, I'm not taking that first step.
Right. Remember when I talked about that in episode number whatever? God is so good. I mean, I know people get frustrated by, Lord, just show me the whole thing. Give me, what's it when you build a house? Blueprint. Lord, just give me, I want to see the whole blueprint. You probably don't, because steps 2 through 17 are rough and painful. And if you knew that was what was ahead, nope, turning around, staying right here in my safe little bubble. Not doing it.
Right. And I think for me, what does a bold prayer look like in my life right now?
Be careful.
Well, no, it's Lord, let me trust you in the process. Let me trust you in the process. Let me let go
of the process
or the outcome as I define it.
Are you okay?
I mean, I'm a little congested. But yeah, that's my bold prayer, is trying to let go of the outcome as I see it and define it. But pray that the steps I'm taking are aligned with your will. And if they're not, let me see that. Speak to me.
Quickly.
Let me see that. Quickly, because I'll run really fast in the wrong direction.
Yeah, well, I mean, see, sometimes it does pay off to work slowly, because you can't veer too far off the path because you're going so slow. Uh-huh. It's just one of those very few areas where maybe
that's your spiritual gift, moving slow.
Slowness. Hey, slow to anger. Hello, it's in the Bible. That's me. Slow to anger.
I'm quick to move. Is that in there somewhere?
No.
Oh.
Well, quick to say yes. That's a good thing. Quick to say yes to God. I think that's great.
Yeah, I don't know that I said that. I don't know that
you did it. Yes. You did it, but I'm trying to help you out here, girl. Okay, right, Let me help you.
I got to go find some verses about being quick to move somewhere.
So as we wrap this up, you want to know a funny thought that just came into my head and the Lord immediately convicted me of it?
Do I have a hat on backwards?
No.
With your vision?
Okay. No. Nice though. My immediate thought was to wrap this up by saying, so how should we encourage others to pray bold
Right.
prayers?
Exactly. Exactly.
Why is it so hard to, I don't know. It's so much easier to say, hey, you go pray a bold prayer for yourself, but not, I think, is it because I'm afraid of what he'll ask me to give up? That could be it.
Of course, that's the trust aspect I was trying to say, not necessarily well. But, I think there's several bold prayers that I'm praying right now.
Anything you would like to share with the group today?
I'll speak in some generalities.
Okay.
I think one of the bold prayers for me is just being able to create more margin in my life because I'm so structured and scheduled.
That calendar is too much.
Well, it's just, I operate on high productivity. And I think for me, it's, as we think about going into the holidays, we take some time. We're going to serve others through the holidays, but it's still scheduled time. Yeah. Right? I don't have enough margin in my life that when I feel like the Spirit's leading me, that I actually can immediately respond to that.
And so when you say margin, you just mean freed up space in your calendar? Is that literally what we're talking about here?
I don't know. There's a lot of nuances of margin in your life. Sometimes it's mental margin for me too, right? Because even if I'm not in a quote meeting or something on my calendar, I'm thinking about 45,000 things.
Well, yeah, that's when you're sleeping too.
So yeah, some of it's even just create enough space in my life to go be still with the Lord. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
We've talked about how that's a challenge.
It is a challenge, but even creating that level of margin and intentionality in my life to do that so that he can speak the next things to me.
Right. Show you the next step.
Right. I think there's a level of boldness there. Mm-hmm. As we serve others over the holiday season, there's a prayer I pray about just, Lord, break my heart for the things that breaks yours. Mm-hmm. Because I do get so just in a certain gear of going, and I it's connected to the margin. I don't pause and really, I guess, understand what Jesus wept for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so playing that out in my own life.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It's funny that you said break my heart for what breaks yours, because at church this morning, mm-hmm. when we were sitting there, I had the same thought, except for myself.
What do you mean?
Break my heart, like what you were talking about earlier, mm-hmm. over our own sin, because it's easy for us to see others' brokenness, because it's quote unquote so much worse than ours. Right. But because of the conversation you and I had this morning before we even left to go to church. During church, I thought of this song, break my heart for what breaks
you want me to
yours.
Join?
No, okay. No, girl. It's not on the checklist. But I think the song popped in my head first while we were at church. And then I was like, okay, Lord, I need your help here. I need you. And I guess this is a bold prayer too. I didn't even really think about it. Break my heart for what breaks yours about me. Oof.
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 So if I get real emotional over the next, month.
Oh.
Now you know what's going on.
Aren't you generally emotional? Is this going to be worse than normal? Help me understand.
Yeah, I literally just asked God to break my heart for what breaks his about the sin in my life. Yes, it's going to get worse. But you know what they say? I don't know who they are, but they say sometimes it has to get worse before it gets better.
Okay. And so here's what happens in my brain when you say that. And this is why we avoid dangerous prayers. I go, okay, God, can you at least wait till the new year before you do this? Because it's really busy between now and it's so funny. No, but literally, this is why we avoid dangerous prayers. I'm like, okay, how do we plan this brokenness? How can we plan?
Where does this fit on the calendar?
Where does her emotional breakdown fit in our schedule?
Oh, Jason, I love you so much.
But no, I'm just being vulnerable and honest.
Your brain
That's literally,
is so funny.
As you were saying that, I'm like, can we make that happen in at least 60 days from now? Not tomorrow.
Well, and it might. I don't know, but well, listen, there's so much. Listen, just like you said, you are very aware of your brokenness. Guess what? So am I. I'm very aware of my brokenness as well. It just doesn't break my heart like it should. And that is what I was saying to God this morning.
Let me follow that up. I think it's being aware of your brokenness is one thing. Being aware of the depth of your brokenness such that it breaks your heart is something else. I think that's what we're talking about here, is the depth of our sin.
Yeah.
Right. We put it in a cute box. Oh, this is manageable. It's not that bad. I mean, look at that person. This is not that bad. When the reality
categories.
We
categorize them.
The junk in our life.
It's nowhere near as bad as the other things.
But the junk in my life and the junk in your life is what put Jesus on the cross.
That hurts, girl.
That's the reality.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Right. I heard somebody say the other day there were 4 nails on the cross, right? One in each hand and then one through both feet. And then a nail above him that was about what he was guilty of. Mm-hmm. He goes, that nail is our nail.
Yeah.
It holds up our mess, our brokenness. And I think we don't put it at that level of, oh no, it's my sin didn't put Jesus on the cross, because it's not as bad as that. It absolutely 100% did.
Every single one of them. Every single one of our sins. Good and bad. Not good.
Good sin? That's a whole different episode, girl. That's a different podcast.
It's not good and bad, but the bad and then the not so bad.
You mean what you mean is my sin versus your sin,
right?
That's really what you mean.
Yeah.
It's like
the cute little box that we're putting it in. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's right.
So I said that I was wrapping up, and then we went down a rabbit hole, but it was a good rabbit hole. But I think the challenge is for us meaning you and I, everyone listening, to stop before you pray the bold prayers for somebody else or on behalf of somebody else and flip it around. Look at yourself. Because we need to dig deep. And why would we be praying something for somebody else that we wouldn't be willing to pray for ourselves, right?
Well, that's because it's safer and easier.
I know.
You know the answer, girl.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
And it also makes us feel like good little Christians when we do that because we're praying for someone else.
It does. You're not wrong. It does make us feel like good little Christians. Look, I prayed this prayer for Sally. I don't know why I keep saying Sally.
Sally?
Sally?
Girl, we got you covered.
Something big and bold is going to happen in Sally's life.
If we meet a Sally like in the next day, then I'm out.
Well, I'm going to meet a Sally to pick up a pie on Tuesday.
Sally, we're coming for you.
But we love Sally. Anything else? Do you have anything else that you want to add as we close this one out?
We talked about safe prayers and dangerous prayers.
Mm-hmm.
I think the word dangerous is just the wrong word.
Okay.
Because dangerous prayers are the ones we should be craving to pray. I think the ones that we're avoiding are the ones we should be craving to pray. If we're truly saying, Lord, this life is yours, not mine.
Mm-hmm.
Send me how you want. Break me how you want. Reveal to me what I need.
That makes me so nervous.
Of course it makes us nervous because we're still trying to hold on to our life and our view of what our life should be.
And control.
Right? I mean, we talk a lot about how my struggles with control, but in the conversations on the podcast, when I talk about it, I talk about it as a reflection of we all have this aspect, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're just trying to bring it to the surface and have a real conversation about it.
It's heavy. I feel like this was a heavy one.
Well, it's heavy, but you can also look at it in terms of it's heavy,
mm-hmm.
but as Christians, it should be exciting for us, right? How do we flip that from like feeling like it's stressful,
dangerous to exciting,
and anxiety ridden to like we get to approach a holy God with these big bold prayers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the call to action is we get to do this. And oh, by the way, the God of the universe has our back in these prayers.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, we should get excited.
We should get excited. So I think that's the call to action is how do you take it from being scary to, you know what?
It's exciting.
It's exciting.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. Let's go.
Let's go.
We are so glad that y'all are here. We are on all the socials, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, at Far More Podcast. And if you have a topic that you want us to discuss and unpack on the podcast, you send me an email, farmorepodcast@gmail.com. And until next time, big, bold prayers, but not for others, for yourself.
That's right.
Right?
And be excited about it.
Be excited. Wait expectantly for the Lord to show up in a big way.
There you go.
We'll see y'all next time.
See ya.